I really wanted to get into the matchup against Jay. I'm out in Vegas, and Jay's one of those guys I think people have been kind of hoping that he's going to get big fights, and he's run into a lot of bad luck. So just your overall opinion of Jay Haran and the type of fighter he is and the type of opponent for you from a stature standpoint.
Jay's an unbelievable fighter. Jay hasn't had high publicity fights like I have, and but he's easily top 10 in the world. He's got really good wrestling. He's got really good stand-up. He's been fighting for years. So, I like Jay. Jay's actually a buddy of mine. So he's a good guy, and he's an unbelievable fighter. He just doesn't get a lot of luck, All
right. So what's that like for you? Because normally, you've had some heat with some guys in the past. It's usually pretty easy to drum up the controversy. So a little different this time?
Yeah, I'm over respectful. Got nothing but good things to say about Jay. But it's business. When I beat Chris Lytle, he was a friend of mine too. But it's just, this is how we feed our family. So, end of the day, I'd like to fight Diaz or Saramskis more than Jay. Not because, not because I just don't want to fight him because he's better than me or anything. I've trained with him many times in the past. He's a really nice guy, and it's easier to fight someone who don't like than like.
And you mentioned some of the big names, and I think you're kind of on the edge here. If you get a win here, whether it's those guys or some other guys, I think 170 has room to start building, just like it is in UFC. It's probably the deepest weight class in the world, and the potential of bringing over guys from Japan. So there's a lot of big money fights on the way if you win this.
Yeah, a lot of big fights. So if I win this fight, just good things are on the horizon. Just hopefully, if I do win, to get a good look and actually get the big fights.
All right, so we got nothing from Jay in terms of trash talk, but I can tell you, reading the internet today and doing a little background on the fight, first of all, a couple issues. I was reading one write-up saying that your conditioning, traditionally, not great.
I don't remember a fight where I've gassed out. I don't know. Diaz usually breaks people. I went 3 rounds with him, beat him. And I just fought Baroni 3 rounds, and third round I was the strongest. So, I don't know. Fucking people are retards on the internet. I have no idea, but they have their opinions. But fucking, what are you gonna do?
What do you think it's gotten to a point now that they kind of overlook you a little bit? Because I was looking back at the track record, I'm like, there's really no bad losses here amongst something like 44 fights. Especially the last 5 years or so.
Yeah, I've lost to I don't think anybody in the top 10 that's out of the top 10. But if I don't, I've beaten fucking Diaz, Lytle, Kendall Grove. I've beaten a lot of guys, and I don't think in the UFC I was always favored to lose. I always came out fucking first. It's been a little redundant in my career, but I get used to it. I used to get all pissy and I want respect. I really don't give a fuck, man. I'm here to excuse my language. I'm here to make money for my family. That's about it. So I don't really care what a bunch of turds think on the internet, man. It doesn't really bother me anymore.
Well, I think in a lot of ways, guys turn into darlings on the net, and Jay's had some hard luck. And I don't know, I was looking at a poll recently, and it said I think there was over 1,000 votes, and 77% had Jay winning the fight. And here's the other one. I haven't seen the Vegas odds yet, but I think the offshore odds, he's like a 3-1 favorite.
I don't think I've ever been a 3-1 underdog, and I don't. Nothing's. Jay is a fucking great fighter. He's really good, but I've beaten a lot better fighters than Jay's beaten. The odds are stupid. I don't know what it is. His last fight with Jesse Taylor, who's not a world beater, he went to a decision. I don't know. I don't want to take anything away from Jay. I think he's an unbelievable fighter. Actually, he's a lot better than people even know. But if they knew how good he was, I could see that. But they don't. I don't know. I don't know, man. This sport just fucking makes me sick sometimes, man. It really does. I love the sport, and the sport being how good it is, but the people involved in it, are just a bunch of shrews, man.
Well, there's positives and negatives. Obviously, they drive the ship, and the passion is cool, but sometimes the lack of knowledge is a little alarming. You know.
There's really good people, and like I said, there's good and bad. There's people in it that are really passionate about the sport and they're really knowledgeable. But, fucking there's other people like that just, I don't know what the heck they're thinking, man.
Well, I think the cool thing is from a matchmaking standpoint, you mentioned the Jesse Taylor fight. This isn't going to be a fight where one of you guys is sitting there trying to clinch and take the other guy down. I think, it's going to be a slugfest.
Yeah, you never know. Jay's good. Jay's very well-rounded. I'm not going to be taking him down, so it relies on him. Jay hasn't been in too many slugfests, but I have. I've been in a lot. So, who knows, man? The fight could, be on the feet. It could be on the ground. Who knows, man? But either way, I'm ready for whatever.
Well, let's close on this. You mentioned Zaramskis, and the fact that you'd like to fight him. Diaz, he's fighting him, but he sounded a little not apprehensive, but almost disappointed because he went on some rant at the last event about Sakurai ducking him. As American fighters who have been making the living over here, is there any sort of bitterness that Zaromskis walks in and gets a title shot right away based on just what he did in the last maybe a year or so in that Dream tournament?
Yeah, I think that's kind of crappy. I think they got good relations with Strikeforce, the Japanese guys do. So I think he goes over and wins that tournament. He gets a lot of good things happen to him. But I didn't they promise Jay a title shot too? Mm-hmm. I mean, did Diaz turn that fight down?
Well, what happened was they had it scheduled, and then Nick had his problems with not going to test in California, and fights were falling through. So yeah, Jay kind of lost it. But that was when he came over from Affliction. That was kind of the agreement.
Yeah, I was scheduled to fight Diaz for the belt, and then I went in the hospital, and then Huron took my place. So I didn't know. I mean, so I think Jay's getting the shaft, and so I don't know. I would have thought it would have been me, Zaromskis, and Jay and Huron. I mean, Jay and Nick. That's what I thought. So, but who knows, man? I mean, maybe we'll switch it up next time.